This right here is the most advanced Neopixel lightsaber I have found on Amazon for under $100. It's a full hilt with a Neopixel blade with switchable sound fonts, blade styles, and ignition effects. It even has smooth swing. But for the first time on a sub $100 Neopixel Amazon lightsaber, it has gesture control for igniting and retracting the blade. Greetings, knowledge seekers, the Force is with you. I'm Priyon Joni and you're watching Lightsaber Culture. Today, we're checking out the super affordable black pixel lightsaber from Cuvpot. Now this video is not done in partnership or collaboration with Cuvpot. I bought this one myself, but if by the end of the video you end up deciding to get one, I left a link in the description or in the bio. Right now it's listed at $89 with a 10% off coupon, which can change throughout time. And while the silver one is offered as a color variation for the same price, these two are two distinctly different hilts, and the black one has more features. So I have the silver one here for comparison, and it does not have the gesture controls that the black one has. Gotta use the button. Which is why the black one is the most feature-packed Neopixel lightsaber under $100. You can check out my video on the silver Cuvpot one here. Now, just to be clear, we're talking about a Neopixel lightsaber under $100. There are some compromises. The big one is that it is not an easily removable and interchangeable blade like the standard Neopixel. You can indeed remove the blade, but it uses an old style connector where the tube is exposed with its wiring. Because it's not the commonly found standardized removable blade, I would be careful dueling or dropping the saber. On a traditional Neopixel, you break an LED, you can just buy a new blade. However, keep in mind, the price of a new Neopixel blade is about the same price or more of this entire lightsaber. So if you break an LED, you could always just buy an entirely new lightsaber. Also, this could be a con or a pro, depending how you look at it, but the hilt itself is lightweight. This makes it very easy to swing and spin, but it lacks the solid mass that you feel on nicer built hilts. Now I can't weigh the hilt just by itself because I can't remove the blade easily. So this is what it is with the blade. The whole thing is just shy of a pound, 0.99 of a pound. The soundboard is decent and reminds me of a toned down Xenopixel or SM Pixel board with multiple sound fonts, blade styles, and ignition effects. However, as most entry-level electronics go, it does not have a micro SD card to change those sound fonts. One great thing about the Cuvpot sabers, including the silver ones, is that it does have a removable 18650 rechargeable lithium-ion battery. I point this out because the Hoset lightsaber our wedding party used for our wedding, which is slightly more affordable, which I have right here, has a soldered battery, which means it's not removable and you can't put it on a charger. And we always had to charge the entire lightsaber hilt in between wedding activities. So to compare the three sub $100 Amazon lightsabers, here they are. The Hoset is the cheapest of the three, and I've seen it as high as $89 and as cheap as $44 on Amazon. It's the simplest to use. It has one ignition and one solid blade style. I do like how slow the ignition is, and there's no more than one sound font. In fact, it doesn't really do a hum. And aside from a decent ignition, it has this one sound for a smooth swing, and this is what it sounds like when you strike. Also, it does a slow flash when it strikes. In fact, we set it to mute at our Star Wars wedding because this would get annoying. The hilt is available in two different colors, black or silver, and it's the only one out of these three with a soldered battery. But the exposed USB-C charger makes it easy to charge where you don't have to screw off the handle. The Hoset one is also the one with a full standard 32-inch blade. So let me put these where you can see the entire hilt, all matching at the bottom, roughly. And you can see that the Hoset one is longer. You can check out my full review of the Hoset one right here. The silver Cuvpot is much of an improvement over the Hoset one, with some variation of blade styles when you're choosing a color. As I mentioned, it does have a removable battery along with a USB Type-C charging port under the grip. And the blade length, as we saw earlier, is shorter, somewhere between 30 to 31 inches, matching more of a medium length Disney saber. Now the black Cuvpot, which we're talking about today, is the big improvement. For every sound font, you can customize the blade styles and the ignition styles. much like a professional medium tier lightsaber. And what's crazy to me is that the silver one and the black one are both the same price, but the black one definitely has more features. All three do have a USB Type-C charging port, color changing blades, and they all look amazing in photos and videos. In fact, they look realistic because they are indeed Neopixel lightsabers. Now the hilt itself has a Star Wars inspired simple design. I like to look at it as a black slate for customization and weathering, but it looks decent for what it is, especially for the price. The black matte finish is great for avoiding fingerprints. None of the edges are sharp, so you don't have to worry about cutting yourself when you're handling the saber. That goes for the rings on the grip and the emitter section, as well as the edge of the emitter. It does have an angled emitter. The emitter calls back to Darth Vader's lightsaber, while the rings are a callback to Luke's green lightsaber. The pommel is removable, so if you have an adapter and a second saber, you can put them together to create a saber staff. I did notice that it uses the same silver speaker I see used in many TXQ and LGT sabers. The button is your standard Neopixel single button design with a backlit blue LED to indicate your controls. Overall, you get 3 settings for volume. When the blade is off, it's hold 1 blink.
High volume.
High volume. That's at its loudest.
Mute.
There's mute, and also
Low volume.
low volume. You can use the button to activate or deactivate the blade. Or, as we showed you earlier, gesture control. This is the cheapest Neopixel lightsaber to have gesture that I've seen. The smooth swing is decent. It's much better than the host set, but it sounds like it's also only a single sound file, but because of mixing, it sounds a little better because it's mixed with the hum. And I notice it's very reactive, so it doesn't really take much to make it activate. Now, what does take a little bit more force, no pun intended, is the clash. And it does have a blade effect where you see the LED flash up and down the blade. Now hold the button down for 1 blink and let go for blade lockup, just like any Neopixel lightsaber. And then click again to deactivate. There's a tip drag sound effect when you hold the button down and strike the blade. You gotta keep holding down. But I don't see any tip effect on it. And then let go to stop the effect. You can change the color by holding down and letting go after 2 blinks. Overall, you have 20 colors you can cycle through, 16 total sound fonts, and for customization, you have 8 blade effects and 9 ignition effects. Here's the blade styles. This one is a flashy unstable. It's actually very stroby. Here's pulse. It's just a really slow pulse, exactly what you see on screen. It just gets brighter and dimmer on a cycle. This is one of the multicolored effects. This is infinity, which is ever-changing colors. This one I think is called wave, and it just mixes the main color with a white that goes up and down, which gives it kind of that fiery look. This is rainbow. This is fire. Now, similar to wave, instead of a white light, it's actually a darkness in it, which also gives it that fiery look. And back to stable. Now, this is the box that comes with. Now, despite not being a standard Neopixel lightsaber with a removable blade, the box does come with an additional set of set screws and an Allen key. In fact, when you open it up, only 1 set screw is in there, so you have to put all the set screws in there to secure the blade in. It kind of misled me to hope that this was a standard removable blade with a popular flat connector, but it isn't. Also, it does come with a USB-A to Type-C charging cable, and as a reminder, always use no more than a 5-volt USB charger. Anything more could fry your board. And of course, it comes with the manual, which is on a sheet of paper. Remember, this is a sub $100 lightsaber. And you got the Cookpot business card. This, minus the work mat, is everything it comes with. Now let's take this outside for a spin. Wow, that was fun. I love how lighter hilts are in Neopixel because it makes spinning much easier. Neopixel blades are generally heavier, so when you have a heavy hilt, it just slows you down when you're spinning it. But this one was much easier to spin. Again, just be careful for dueling since the blade is not replaceable. However, the price of this lightsaber is the same as the price of a standard Neopixel blade. So if you break an LED, just buy a new lightsaber. It's the cost of a replacement blade. The grip was really nice without the sharp edges, but this part right here kept your hand secured, doesn't slip around. Now if you're looking for something different like a highly detailed weathered lightsaber, check out this video now.